back into the 14-Day Sports Radio Show.
Mike Piazza.
Hall of Famer. The 14-Day Sports Radio Show is brought to you by the Big Apple Sports Palace. Call them up tonight for delivery, 201-858-1075. All right, so we are now in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Had some tremendous games last weekend, most of them going down to the wire. The only one that wasn't an exciting game was that Chargers-Bengals playoffs, which somebody called the Chargers outright. Oh, that was me. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Chargers outright in that one.
Oh, so humble.
Now, we all had pretty decent weeks, but
Yeah, I think I went 2-2.
we had a discrepancy here about the Chiefs.
The line moves. We move with the line.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't know, but on the Wednesday when we put the bet in,
Right.
let's say if
It's
this
an
was
imaginary
Vegas,
bet.
if
It's a
this was
pick, not a
Vegas,
bet.
we
We're
were putting
at
it
the
in
15
Vegas.
MOFE Studios. It's not Vegas.
If we were the house would not let you take the line at the pickle.
That's true.
If the line moves, we move with the line.
But that's the thing. We would have placed the bet on Saturday, so, we
Right.
just didn't. So, I don't know. Null and void? Because,
No, it's a win.
Yeah, it's a win for everybody.
all right, everybody gets to win. So, I went 3-0-1 on the week. I think you too, right?
Actually, I was
We pushed the last game, right?
I was
Yeah.
1-2-1. I want to say because
1-2-1.
I had the Eagles. And,
Oh.
they got busted.
They did. Good game there in Philly. A lot of, and what a comeback by Andrew Luck and the Colts.
That was an unbelievable game.
They
Unbelievable
looked
game.
dead in the water, but I'm watching the game there the whole time. I'm thinking, how close are the Colts going to make this?
The Colts have done it all year, too.
Yeah.
I thought they had a chance up until Luck's third pick in
Yep.
the second half.
Right to start the second half, they made it 31-10.
I thought that was the end of it because I was all right. They just don't have enough time to put up enough points to get back into this game, and boy, did they prove me wrong.
Yeah, the Colts secondary in the first half looked like their feet were tied together trying to play defense. They looked absolutely terrible.
Yeah. And Alex Smith, played a great game,
You can't put that on Alex Smith,
especially
at all.
without Jamal Charles.
Yeah.
I think if he's in there, it's a different story.
Yeah. Well,
Or even Niles Davis, they lost him too in the second half.
what I think happened with the Colts was, I think we kind of discussed this during the week, but the Colts all week were probably prepping for stopping Jamal Charles. He goes out of the game. There goes their whole game plan. They were just hitting off receivers right down the middle of that play action slant pass
Well,
to Dwayne Bowe was working all day long.
The Colts defense is not that good.
No.
Whatever the game plan was, they're just not that good.
And I
but
think I'm riding New England heavy this week.
does that loss fall on Andy Reid? Has to, right? The head coach. It's got to fall on the head coach.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
they
can't
didn't,
go
they
up
didn't
24
run the ball
points
enough.
and then-
The same thing with Jason Garrett when we talked about that Packer Green Bay game. The clock. You have to use the clock. The clock is your friend.
Yeah.
Make him your friend.
Never mind.
Make him run.
Never mind Alex
Play
Smith.
tag. Make him chew.
I don't know what the
That
defensive.
made no sense.
Does it ever?
I don't know what the defensive adjustments were for the Colts in the second half, but Alex Smith was just scrambling all over him in the first half as much as he wanted to,
Right.
and that was some of the most effective run game. Mm-hmm. And maybe they just kind of cut that down and kind of made him just be more of a thrower than running out of the pocket. But yeah, he's got to probably. You really can't have an excuse for losing by having a 24-point lead and giving it up.
Yeah.
None.
It's.
Listen.
You got to put the blame somewhere, and the Chiefs just kept on losing guys. Every big guy comes on going, Brandon Flowers went out.
Mm-hmm.
It was just seems like every other play they had somebody going down, which is tough. But
this is the NFL. We see it all year where a team jumps out. Not necessarily to a 24-point lead, but they jump out to a huge lead there in the first half. That team comes roaring back. That's the nature of the beast. I can't blame Andy Reid on this because Andy Reid doesn't throw the football, Andy Reid doesn't run the football, and Andy Reid doesn't catch the football.
Does he call the plays?
He sure does, but you got to execute out there. It doesn't fall all on him. With a 24-point lead,
fair enough. If Dwayne Bowe has a little bit better feeling where he is on the field and just
I
takes
think
a little more tighter line.
How about Alex Smith missed was it Niles Davis down the right sideline wide open on a wheel route? Yeah.
And then the key play in this game called me nuts, but in the first quarter, Dwayne Bowe catches that huge slant pass. And Antoine Bethea comes from all the way behind. He must have been like 20, 30 yards behind Bowe. Comes back, catches him, and then that leads to a field goal instead of the touchdown in a 1-point game. That's very huge.
But that you know what? That was Andrew Luck's national coming out party.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck now needs to be considered among the best quarterbacks in football if he wasn't already. But now, without a doubt,
Andrew the Giant.
Dude, he is ugly. He needs to shave.
It's so fun.
Dude, for a big time
November
player,
all year long, baby.
He's ridiculous with that beard.
It's all on the neck. It's all down here. It's all like from the chin down. There's no face beard.
Yeah, a neck beard. What's a neck beard?
I tell you what, I'm not a neck. The only part of my face that I do shave are my cheeks and my neck.
You could give him some tips on beard etiquette.
Simmons calls him Andrew the Giant. You ever hear him talk? He's got the deepest voice in the world.
Oh yeah, well we're gonna try to do it all this game.
Well, we're gonna go out and win the game today.
All right.
And we're gonna try to beat Tom Brady.
He's ugly, but he can sure throw that football.
Oh yeah. All right, well let's get into.
Well, how about we pick that game?
All right. Well, that's
England,
the second game on Saturday. Colts are traveling to the Patriots. Patriots are a 7-point favorite in this one.
Walsh, what's the weather?
I'm not sure. It is New England, so it's probably going to be a little brisk.
No, it's going to be nice this weekend.
Oh, yeah?
55, 60.
Oh, we
got a caller.
We got a caller. Let's see who you are. Hey, caller. Welcome to the 14A Sports Radio Show. Who is this?
Yes!
What a douche.
Waited 2 hours.
Must have been one of those
What a clown.
Must have been somebody voting on the Hall of Fame.
What, Artie Lang?
Go shovel your neighbor's walk.
All right, so in the game here, Patriots favored by 7. Now, I'm in a little bit of a predicament here because, on my weekly segment on the website, I've been saying how Andrew Luck and the Colts, they're primed for a big breakout. They're going to be this year's Ravens. But I don't like the line on this game in their favor. And in the beginning of the season, I picked the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl, so I'm stuck in a little conundrum here.
I do not like the line with them +7.
I don't like it. I think it's very telling that the
What do you
Patriots are
think
going
it
to
should
kick
be?
their ass.
No,
Would you like it better if it was +3?
he reads into the lines tremendously.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
That's
Why
a
would you like-
strategium.
Why would you like it better if it was
Roman
+3?
terms.
Because then you'd know that the Colts would win. I'm just saying 7 points here. But that's the
Let's
thing.
delve into the mind of.
But listen, this
We're going to go down a long, dark path, my friends.
Listen, you'll see.
A
You'll
road
see.
where few have traveled before.
With Bernie Manziel at the end.
Now, all right. What do you guys think? I'll give my prediction.
I'm going to take the Patriots.
All right.
I think Mully said to before, the Colts defense is just terrible, and that secondary is even worse. I know the Patriots are missing a lot of big guns, but I just see Tom Brady picking them apart and just the Colts not being able to keep up. Even though the Patriots are losing guys by the day, they still Brandon Spikes for the rest of the playoffs. But I'll take Tom Brady at home. They haven't lost a game at home all year.
I think
I don't see the
Dave
Colts
just
can,
got punched in the stomach.
Can hang with them in their own house.
All right.
I like it. I agree. You know what? It reminds me of how many times did Peyton Manning take that Colt team red hot, couldn't be stopped on offense against New England, and New England, Belichick always had his number. I think it's going to be more the same. I think it's going to be history repeating itself. Belichick, they lose guys, as you say. Their secondary has played better as of late. A couple of Rutgers guys, Logan Ryan, McCourtney, and Deron Harmon, 3 Rutgers guys in the secondary.
Ex-Tampa guy. Talib is going to be
Talib.
locking up.
Talib's the best player.
Locking up T.Y.
I have his friggin' jersey, man. Killing
You should rock it on Saturday.
I'm taking a Pats later points.
All right.
Give me Tom Brady and Belichick.
Gonna make that a clean sweep. I like the Patriots. A lot of the experts on TV, they love the Colts this weekend as the upset team. Another thing too with Indy being down all those points on Saturday. They expended so much energy, just getting back into that game. I think they're going to be pretty worn out in this one. I think the Patriots are going to win by 2 or 3 touchdowns in this one.
They have the extra day of rest where you considered, they would usually play a Sunday game.
Right.
But, the Patriots had were able to rest up. But you come back off that game, you're just on such a high. It's tough to try to match that level of intensity.
We've seen, though, those teams. Dubai hasn't really helped teams in recent years.
I saw a
couple 6 seeds, the Giants, the Ravens.
I saw a
the
stat recently, 6 versus 1 seeds. The 6 seeds are 6-2 over the past, I guess, X amount of seasons. I'm not sure the exact time frame, but
right.
6 seeds have run it up a little.
I think Belichick neutralizes luck, and New England at home, very tough, and Tom Brady's the best quarterback in the game right now. So later points, clean sweep, and we move with the line.
We sure
Boom.
do.
All right, next game.
Now it's pronounced.
The first game on Saturday, we're gonna have the Saints traveling to Seattle. Seattle thoroughly thumped that ass the last time that the Saints traveled up there on Monday Night Football.
And the last time in the playoffs, too.
Yes, 34-7.
When beast mode occurred.
Peace.
I tell you, Seattle needs to run the ball, and they did that effectively against Philly. They were able to run the ball.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the Saints, right, against Philly. They were able to run the ball. Those ends played pretty well. That defense played pretty well. They need to play that kind of game against Seattle. In that
rough,
home field.
Rugged, knock it out, drag it out a little.
If they're in third and long all the time, with that crowd rocking and rolling, coming off the edge, those ends, the Seattle ends, being able to get a jump on a ball, they're going to be in trouble. But, the Saints show they can run the ball. Philly, not a great defense, but, Seattle, obviously a much better one. I picked the Saints to go to the Super Bowl. I'm going to stay with it. I'm not leaving my Saints behind. I'm also going down to New Orleans a couple times this year. So I kind of want the Saints to be all in party mode.
Get that chain for your wallet, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we covered that
just
a couple
have
times.
a backup ID just available.
You know what?
Just in case.
Backup library card.
But as we learned, you don't need an ID to get out of a plane out of New Orleans.
No.
So
No.
whatever happens. Well, I'm taking the Saints. Enough.
This is a tough game to call. Just so many points out there with the Saints. Was the Seahawks -8?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Hawks, though. At home, I think they're going to be fired up. I think they got a little pissed after losing to Arizona at home.
I think them losing to Arizona helps the Saints. It shows that Seattle's they're not unbeatable there.
Right.
But this is the Seahawks #1 against the pass in the league this year, which is obviously the Saints' strength. Like you said before, they got to run the ball.
They have to run it.
I don't know if they'll be able to do it as effectively, but, the Seahawks, with that crowd in their back, I'll take him. I think Russ Wilson's a great quarterback, especially being a young guy. Just winning, his first 13 or 14 home games in a row.
Yep.
Give me the Hawks with the home crowd.
All right.
I don't like laying the 8, but
I'm gonna go with the Saints, but I'm not saying they're gonna win the game. I just think the line will probably be somewhere around 7, or that's where the score will end up. We've seen it plenty of times where a team gets thumped, in the regular season, and then they'll meet up again in the playoffs, and it'll at least be a closer game.
Those games really have no bearing on each other.
I just think that the Saints will probably learn from their mistakes this time around. Not saying they're going to win this game, but I think they'll keep it at a touchdown at least.
So, Saints, me and Walsh, Nipsey got
the Hawks -8.
Seattle.
We move with the line.
Damn right we do.
All right, then.
Yeah, that's a Hall of Fame.
When we wake up on Sunday, we'll be treated to the San Francisco 49ers at the Carolina Panthers.
Gonna be some blood.
This game is at a pick'em right now. Interesting, though, because earlier in the season, these two teams played. Now, Carolina was the underdog in this one. Almost, I think it was 6.5 or 6, right around that.
In the regular season.
And they didn't have Crabtree, and they weren't looking very good at that time. So they were a 6-point favorite. Now, the Niners loaded with all their guns back, everybody on the field. It's interesting now that this game is at a pick'em.
Well, they're obviously
even
at
with
home.
even with Steve Smith, though.
Where do you read into the pick'em line, Walsh?
Well, you know how much I love this, but
we need to get the crystal ball in here.
Yeah,
and just have you start kind of
for the Super Bowl.
What I see is
reading like tarot cards, maybe.
But yeah, in a pick'em game, you always have to take that team that's not the obvious pick in a pick'em game. So I'm gonna. Well, listen. There's a reason that it's a pick'em.
You need a manifesto.
There's a
I
reason.
think we do
You need a
gambling
manifesto by A. Walsh.
There's a reason why this game is at a pick'em line. 78% of the bets right now are on the San Francisco 49ers.
And I don't want any of the manifesto to be about football. I just want
Travel,
weather lines,
gambling lines.
Ooh, I like that.
Lines.
Weather lines and travel.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm all on that.
And this has nothing to do with the personnel in my analysis in this game. Not going to go any personnel. Not going to go any statistics. Not going to go with any of that.
Why would you change? You never.
I look at this line and I'm thinking, oh my god, it'd be so easy to take the Niners and to pick them in this game, but I don't like it. I'm going with the Panthers.
I think Kaepernick. He's using his legs now. They're a hot team. Jim Harbaugh is a better coach than Riverboat Ron. Give me the 49ers.
Also forgot to say West Coast team traveling to the East at a 1 o'clock game.
The travel.
At a 1 o'clock.
10 a.m. start time, local time. You know what? I was all ready to jump on Carolina just to go against the grain, and then I heard Walsh talking about it. And I was like,
he convinced you to go to your...
That just doesn't even make any sense, Michael. Not any football sense. No, but I think Crabtree is the difference maker in this game. I don't think Carolina has the weapons to put points up on that defense, and I think Sanford can at least move the ball enough to score.
I'll take
Sanford.
I think this is going to be a very ugly game. Over-under set at 42, so also pretty telling there. All right, and then to close off Sunday, Cinderella San Diego Chargers traveling to Mile High. Broncos, we got them at a 9.5-point favorite in this one. What do we think?
I think this is the most interesting game.
Yeah.
I think this is, for me, is the toughest one. You know what? San Diego showed the blueprint to beat Denver, right? Control the ball. Their defense played phenomenal against Peyton Manning. You know, made him go 3 and out more than anyone all season.
Yeah.
They were missing Welker. I think Welker's a big factor. I think if Welker's playing and Welker's healthy, that's a huge bonus.
Is
you
that
know, to
have
that
you heard
Denver?
anything about that yet, or no?
I don't know the status of Welker. I'm assuming he's going to play. This will be like 4 weeks now, not playing. I'm assuming he's going to play. Welker is, you know, they missed him across the middle, moving the chains. Desperately.
There's a couple
that
big
last game.
third downs that they needed in that play with,
Yeah.
where Caldwell went the wrong way, or you know,
Right.
Manning spin one way, and you know, I mean, Manning is so precise with his timing. You know,
Absolutely.
losing a guy like Welker, where you know, even though they've only been with a season together, you know, it looks like they're both on the same page at all times. So,
But you know, San Diego, they showed that Denver defense. You know, Von Miller's out. It's been an Achilles in the Denver all season, especially if the game's close where they can't just rush a quarterback. I'm gonna take the points. Phil Rivers did a hot team. We see this every year. The 1 seed's gonna fall. Give me Denver. Give me damn man.
San Diego.
Give me San Diego.
Yeah, I've been struggling with this one too, because you definitely look what you saw with San Diego last week, making those halftime adjustments against Cincinnati, and Cincinnati just looking like befuddled by what was going on, like they never got blitzed before in their lives.
Andy Dalton.
And they won the game with Philip Rivers only putting up 16 passes. You know, it seems like that Chargers team really can, when they want to, they'll just grind you out and just play ugly
And they
football.
showed they could do it against Denver.
And they
already
did
showed
it in Denver's house already once on a crappy night. But again, I feel like, you know, like to borrow the line from Walsh, I feel like it's everybody's going to be on San Diego now. Yeah. I feel like Denver's so underrated. They're
overrated.
They're so overrated.
Are
they're
you
underrated.
trying to write the introductory in my book?
They're so,
What's
they're so
the
overrated,
percentage
they're
of betting?
underrated, I feel like.
60% on San Diego.
Yeah, so, you know, I feel like everyone's going to be looking at the line. Everyone's going to jump on San Diego, and then Denver's going to come in and blow their holes out like Walsh.
Woo!
So you're taking Denver.
I'll take Denver.
You know, Nipsey stole my thunder. But yeah, the thing is, San Diego.
But you have more thunder. Excellent.
San Diego has played
San Diego's
Denver.
traveling minorly east.
San Diego has
From
played,
Cincinnati.
has been the biggest thorn in Denver's side this entire season. I think Peyton Manning and them, they're going to figure it out. You know, they had the week off, which allows all those old guys on the Broncos to rest and heal up. And you're right. You know, everybody is expecting San Diego to do this a third time. You know, it's going to be very tough to do that to Peyton Manning 3 times in a row.
has not
Well, only
been.
twice. They lost the first game.
No, I'm just saying they
Peyton
played
Manning
them very tough.
has not been
yeah.
a very good playoff quarterback.
That's all right. Guess what? Peyton
story.
Manning's tired of hearing it.
story,
He's
Michael.
tired of hearing
You
it.
don't think he was tired
True
of hearing all the
story,
other
Michael.
times?
He's gonna light these bros up, light the bolts up.
One interesting fact:
I want.
Denver lost to all 3 other AFC playoff teams.
Uh-oh.
Bring the knowledge.
I want
Look at you.
I want Peyton Manning to throw
Woogie,
a
woogie,
touchdown
woogie.
and do the Sean Merriman.
I don't want Peyton
I want
Manning
him to
to
bring
win
it
the
up.
Super Bowl. The last thing I want is to hear more Manning storylines. I'm sick and tired of the Mannings, especially Eli and all those picks. I'm done with the Mannings. Archie, Eli, Peyton, I'm done with them. Enough. Lose. Give me Phil Rivers right now.
While Mully fills up his amphetamine coffee cup, we're going to take a quick break. Welcome back into the 14A Sports Radio Show.
Mike Piazza for president.
Just the whole thing.
Oh,
Okay.
come on, not president.
I guess Mully doesn't like his political views.
He's actually a Republican.
All right, in our last segment, we'll break down Matty Mole's version 1 of the NFL mock draft coming up here for 2014. As you mentioned earlier, Johnny Manziel will be entering the NFL draft, which we're all very excited about. Now, you already had Manziel slotted in here already.
Yeah, I did. It was a pretty much foregone conclusion he was coming out. Anyone that didn't, only the guys that said they weren't coming out did I take into consideration, not put in. Anyone that was projected to come out, I included them.
Okay. Now, in this one, similar... Well, actually, no, I believe... Or did I have Teddy Bridgewater first? No, I had him...
You got Clowney, isn't he?
Clowney, right. In that one, I got to bring up the other one. That way we can check him out. But Teddy Bridgewater to Houston, that looks like the... I don't know. I guess maybe the most concrete one that I think we could look at first. Unless Houston trades that pick.
Yeah, if they trade the pick, I'd imagine if someone trades up, they either fall in love with one of the other quarterbacks or... someone goes up to get Clowney, thinking the Rams might grab Clowney.
The one is St. Louis set on Bradford.
That's an
If
interesting
that-
question.
Yeah.
You know what I think it is right now? I think they owe him so much money.
It's just
What are you
not-
going to put him on the bench? You're going to use the
But you
two
get
pick. Jeff Fisher's he's there to win now, right? You're going to use the 2 pick and
For a
take a
rookie,
quarterback,
for a quarterback
and
and
not
then-
play him. And if you do play him, you're putting a ton of money on a bench, a ton of dead money in Bradford. He was I believe he was one of the last guys, if not the last, before they restructured the NFL salary cap, where the rookies didn't get huge money. I know Cam Newton was the first one.
Stafford was up
got
there.
huge money. I think Bradford was the last
Bradford
one.
got huge money, yeah.
So he's guaranteed a ton. This is the last year of his deal, so kind of a make or break for him. So I think St. Louis rolls with him. Maybe tries to put a few more weapons at his disposal. I can't see them taking a quarterback there. I could definitely see them trading down for somebody trying to make a move for a quarterback at that
Try
2
to add a little
spot.
more couple picks and stuff like that.
But Teddy Bridgewater I had number 1. Like I said in the little blurb there, he does everything well. He's a student of the game. He's a good quality citizen. He's a good guy to build a franchise around. Is he going to be a star? Bill O'Brien's a great coach to fall into if you're a quarterback right now.
Yeah.
He's shown Tom Brady, what he did with Matty Castle when he was there, Hackenberg. He did nice things with. He made the kid in Oakland, a serviceable NFL quarterback, McGloin. So I think Bill O'Brien's a guy. I think him and Teddy Bridgewater would be an excellent match moving forward. And I think Teddy Bridgewater can come in. They could win next year with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, at number 2 here with the St. Louis Rams, I like this point that you make here where the Rams, they have the hole at the offensive tackle position, but with having that extra first-round pick, they can address that later on with the other pick that they have there. So they take Jadeveon Clowney, which is who you have here
Yeah.
at second. I think that's an excellent point that I don't think anybody that I've heard bring up anyway. I know a lot of people are talking about that, maybe trading that pick away, but great point right there.
Well, you take Clowney.
Got to give you some.
You take Clowney and you team him up with Robert Quinn. I mean, everyone's saying if you take Clowney and you put him together with Watt,
Yeah.
that's a strong defensive line. But Quinn was was phenomenal this year.
Absolutely.
I
and they have Chris Long on the other end, so you could
you could throw those guys, just all 3 of them on the line, just say go
right,
nuts.
like their own little NASCAR package.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, if you have those 2 guys, you bring Clowney to St. Louis, there's not tremendous pressure on him, right? He might not even start, so you can bring him in as a situational pass rusher,
Right.
for him to work his way to the NFL. Now, if he proves obviously that he's more than that, then you go forward with that. But I think that's a luxury pick right there at the 2 spot for the Rams. And it's a deep tackle draft. There are probably 4 or 5 tackles in consideration as first-round picks. So they can go and grab a tackle. I think they're at 12 or somewhere in that mix, maybe a little lower.
Yeah.
Their own pick. Giants are at 12, so
Yeah.
they're somewhere in that round,
They're right
somewhere in
there.
that range. And then grab a tackle a little bit later on in the first. I think Clowney is a once-a-generational talent. I think he's unbelievable. I know he had a down year this year, but he didn't want to play for South Carolina. If you go back, Dan Marino had a down year his senior year. Obviously, he had a huge year his junior year, down year senior year. Lawrence Taylor is similar. I think
the sports media, the fans are fickle. They see you you have they make that play in that super the
Michigan
bowl
game.
game,
Yeah.
and they're like they want that every single game. They
Right.
want that every single play. Look at Johnny Manziel this year, put up better numbers this year. Not even was in the discussion for the Heisman, but never really talked about.
Right.
People just get tired of stuff, and they say they want you to do the most amazing thing every time you come out there.
Yeah,
You
sure.
can only, and he probably went 50% every time, knowing that he's already set. He doesn't want to get hurt. He doesn't want to do anything. Besides speeding like a jackass.
You've got that. I mean, he's probably getting double team, triple team. When
And they ran away from him. Absolutely.
When you go against South Carolina, that's your main goal.
It's just
Stay
to
the
get
hell
away
away
from
from Clowney.
Absolutely. When they played Georgia literally ran like 10 or 12 sweeps to the opposite side of Clowney just to keep the ball away from him. I think that's a luxury pick, and they take the absolute best talent. Who knows? He's going to become the best player, but I think he's the best talent in this draft, and I think they go with him there. I did this under consideration that no trades are made.
Right.
We're so far out; it's hard to predict.
As Francesa would say, a little bit of the jerk factor. Don't know what the jerk factor is there.
Very interesting too. That let's say the Rams do get Clowney, and then they just hold him hostage, and then let's say somebody else wants to trade for him with their pick or something like
Hold
that.
him hostage.
Well, that would be like a draft day trade, probably.
Right, yeah, definitely.
right.
Something
They
that we
trade
would,
him. They pick him to trade him.
Right.
I think probably though somebody would move up to go get one of the quarterbacks at that 2 spot. If somebody falls in love with Blake Bortles or Johnny Football, or if Bridgewater doesn't go 1, I think somebody. I don't think any. I mean, could someone trade up for Clowney? Of course, but Usually they trade up to get quarterbacks. That's what you usually see.
Right, but I mean, what I'm saying here is like, let's say who we got, like Atlanta, for instance. Let's say St. Louis grabs Clowney with that pick, and then when Atlanta comes around, maybe Anthony Barr's off the board or something, or whoever.
Right, I understand the point. Yeah, absolutely.
I guess the NFL doesn't usually work as much that way with like the NBA, where it's like you trade a guy in a spot and get later draft picks. Usually, it's the picks are already traded, but. I can see what you're saying.
Well, like the Giants picked for the Chargers, right? They knew they were picking for the Chargers when they took Rivers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it could happen.
Now with Cleveland, with Jacksonville, Cleveland, Oakland, all three need a quarterback.
Right.
Very interesting to see what's going to happen here. You could definitely, it's tough to rank them now here in the beginning of January, but I think once we get closer to the draft, we're going to see some real interesting things happen here.
Yeah. Is there any question that Manziel's just going to be like the most talked about person of the draft?
Oh my God.
Just like the camera's going to be on him constantly. It's just going to be leading up to it. It's going to be the most debated.
The Johnny Cam.
It is.
It
is.
I'll be interested to see when they really start breaking down his mechanics and like his throwing style, because he is a little orthodox in the way he throws the ball.
Right.
So I will be interested to see like what the draft experts start saying, like what they do at the combine and what they start saying about him as like a thrower, because that's when like the Tebow hype really started of like, the guy can't throw the ball. He's got the huge hitch in his throw, and then it's just like the debate just starts, and it just like it snowballs.
Well, I think when they go and break down a tape, obviously, from my own perspective, obviously Manziel won the Heisman last year. I thought he threw the ball a lot better this year. Yeah. Mike Evans breaking out certainly helped, right? A huge receiver, but you saw Manziel make a ton of big throws, man. Like the sideline out. The deep ball, he showed he can make all the throws.
Yeah, I tell you what, I love Manziel of the Browns. I just feel like that's with Josh Gordon there, Jordan Cameron.
Couple weapons
no running game, but good offensive line.
You can find.
They got that other pick in the first round,
right?
That they could use to, like you said. I think you have an offensive lineman here,
yeah.
And they could get another guy there. Whatever position they felt like they need to fill, but I think for that fan base for Cleveland to finally get like a break and
something to rally around.
A stud QB that you could throw up there and be like, hey, this is our guy. I think it'd be great for them.
Like LeBron before he left.
What a low
millions
blow.
of dollars, millions of dollars,
and
millions of dollars.
It's interesting too because I think like Johnny Manziel is probably like the 12th highest rated player on the board.
Who's board?
Mel Kiper.
Okay.
These guys.
But here's what you got to take into consideration with that board. For teams that need quarterbacks,
right?
They can't.
The board doesn't matter.
Right. The
doesn't
quarterback's value obviously is higher, right?
Right.
So even if you have an outside linebacker in front of him, or like Clowney, for example, at 1, Clowney's probably going to be rated ahead of Bridgewater. Pure skill and talent.
Yeah.
But the quarterback position, as we've seen, right, the quarterbacks left in the playoffs. It's a quarterback league, so you need to find a quarterback. A quarterback could change a franchise, whereas a defensive end cannot necessarily do that.
Well, yeah, not It's, rarely. I think LT was maybe the one guy you could say that ever did that. But even guys like Ndamukong Suh or Nick Farley, a couple of guys the lines drafted, they're good, but you don't see that.
Absolutely.
It's
hard to control a game from that position.
It's not like an Andrew Luck.
Absolutely.
That you see him putting the drive together to win a game. You might see him make a sack here and there, but you don't usually see the game-changing play.
All right, so let's talk about the local teams real quick. We got the Giants there at number 12. Mully's got Greg Robinson, the OT at
skipped over the Bucks.
Auburn.
You want to talk about Sammy Watkins a little?
No, well, I don't think they're going to take him. I guess, you know what? Yeah, let's go to the Bucks real quick.
You're controlling the show, kid.
All right. So, now, this is interesting because you've got Greg Robinson here at number 12. Today, the Bucks just hired Tony Sperano as their new offensive line coach.
Okay.
I can see, the Bucks going OT there anywhere on the O-line. They might.
Well, you guys lost 2 tackles last year.
Yeah, and then you come down today, or news comes out. Not a tackle, but Nix, the guard there, he might never play again.
The Mercer.
Yeah,
the Mercer
the foot is just in bad shape, and then the Mercer to go along with it. And Tampa Bay threw huge money. I think it was something like 6 years, $47 million at him. And they're definitely they're on the hook for like $6 or $7 million. But Nix is somebody that could be cut in the offseason. And you look back at that day when they signed the three big free agents, Vincent Jackson, Eric Wright, and Carl Nix. Obviously Jackson panned out well, but the other two not working there.
And Shiano got fired.
I could, yeah.
Huh?
So I could definitely see the Bucks maybe taking Robinson. Robin's actually been shooting up draft boards like crazy.
Well, you think they take him in front of Jake Matthews?
If Matthews is there, then you got to go Matthews.
Matthews is the best tackle. Yeah. You think they go? Yeah. You think they go tackle at 7?
It's starting to look that way, especially if Nick's. All signs are pointing to him getting released. Get rid of a lot of that money. Rebuild the offensive line. Donald Penn looks like he might get traded for a draft pick.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were with Lovey going defensive too.
Yeah, I mean, again, of course it's going to come down to who's there, but
here was my Walsh and I were discussing the mock, and he said, the Bucks aren't taking Watkins at 7. I said, why not? He said, well, he wants a linebacker, right? You wanted Barr or Mack maybe. My thinking is that Tampa Bay defense, they can win right now with what they have. The pieces are there for them to win. That the second defensive tackle is a little weak. A couple holes, no doubt.
Right.
But that defense can win right now. You have a young
But you
developing
need
quarterback in Glennon, right? Assuming he's going to be the guy next year. My thinking, Sammy Watkins showed how dynamic he was. In that bowl game, he was unbelievable.
Yep.
Give Glennon another weapon. And I know you said obviously they gave Vinny Jackson huge money. They paid Mike Williams, but can you have enough receivers in the NFL today? You can't. You have Doug Martin, you have your running back, and granted, your offensive line needs to be addressed, but Sammy Watkins has shown, pairing those two guys up, Vinny Jackson and Watkins, dynamic pair.
Well, he just threw huge money at Mike Williams, as we alluded to. But the thing is, you're not going to waste a top 10 pick on a guy that's going to be on the field maybe, 30, 40% of the time. The Bucs are a running team. They're not this huge air it out team. Mike Lennon's not the quarterback to do that.
I mean, that was with Shano. I mean, I don't know if they. I mean, I guess Lovey was a more old school kind of guy, run the ball a lot. But I mean, nowadays in the NFL, it's a throwing league. If you got a Julio Jones and a Roddy White, you throw the ball.
And I also disagree that he'd be on the field 30% of the time. He'd be the second receiver. He's better than Mike Williams.
Well, in college, he's had a
Or
great
you run- or
collegiate
you run-
career.
you
We
run
don't
out
know
of-
what he's done in the
That's true.
NFL yet.
But I mean, Mike Williams. It's not like he's
It's not like
irreplaceable.
he's like the big Grand
Well,
Poobah.
the thing is that they've spent so much money on him. You don't want to have him, be a
You
guy
got
that
to put the
you're paying all
best
this
team on
money
the field.
for.
I understand the point. You can't allocate too many resources to any one area. I understand.
I
But-
personally think anyway. I think the Raiders might get Sammy Watkins. With
You know what? I
understand
think
they
the
need a
Raiders are
quarterback.
Who knows what the Raiders are going to do?
Exactly.
Well, it's a new regime there, so I mean, it's kind of like their first kind of steps out to finally start building a team. But
Now another thing with the Bucks, I wouldn't mind if they traded down and maybe replace that third. Or I'm not sure exactly.
3
what's-
for Revis.
It's not going to be 4
I think
because
it's
it's a conditional. It's either a third or fourth, but whatever. If they can get another draft pick, maybe move down, get that third or that fourth round or whatever it may be,
Just hit
and
guys
go
there.
after Eric Ebron, the tight end out of UNC.
they had Tim Wright last year.
I would
they
love
liked.
that. But the thing is, that's the thing. He's not a natural tight end. He was a wide receiver at Rutgers,
yeah.
a slot receiver anyway. So you can move him to the slot receiver. You have Vinny Jackson, Mike Williams, Wright at the slot, and then you could stick Ebron in there, and I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, trying to predict the trades is a little tricky, especially this far out.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I understand the point. I think that's always, you say that all the time. Acquire draft picks, move down, get more picks. But
I mean,
in
that's
that
a
spot,
Patriots blueprint for the past how many years?
they've been doing it forever. Yeah,
I don't know if it's really worked for them or not, but
Well,
they've
I
been
think
doing it.
they've got a ton of picks. They just haven't done well with the picks, especially on the defensive side.
I mean, all the cornerbacks they've drafted.
They've missed a lot. Patrick Chung comes to mind.
Oh yeah, no.
But all right, well,
I mean, the Giants are in the same boat there.
Well,
drafting
yeah.
cornerbacks.
What do you think, Dips? I had them taking the tackle out of Auburn. Where do you think the Giants go there? At
Yeah,
12?
no, I agree 100%. I mean, I don't know if you saw it today, but I guess Gilbride was on Sirius saying that the offensive line
I didn't know. What did I
was
missed
the
that.
full. I just kind of saw
Yeah,
the
I
alert
saw
come
it.
across my phone. But the offensive line was one of the major reasons that Eli had such a bad year, which is fine. I mean, if you want to play scapegoats for Eli, I mean Eli had a bad year because Eli didn't make good plays, but assisted by
Right.
other people around him being bad. But yeah, I think especially after David Wilson, a couple years ago, and just seeing how bad that worked out for him, like getting one of those explosive guys there. I think early here, I think they definitely go O-line, just try to rebuild it. I mean, a lot of the guys they had last year are going to be gone or even aging, from where they were.
Well, Sneeze gone, right? Sneeze gone. You project Deal to be gone.
Yeah.
Bass is gone. Or Boss is gone.
So they're
So that's
really
three guys
rebuilding
they need to
there.
replace. Beatty broke his leg. who he had
They said he's going to be back for next year.
He had a
but
down year anyway. He didn't play well. I think the Giants, Noah Jerry Reese, I think you projected a linebacker at that spot, which, we would love a playmaking linebacker. We haven't had one since Antonio Pierce.
But I think now you just got to go build through the draft, get some tackle, get some offensive linemen here that you can start rebuilding around.
And I think another key, the last year first rounder, Justin Pugh, Coughlin went on the radio and said
he's great.
He could play anywhere.
Yeah.
So, if they take a tackle, Beatty comes back, you could slide Pugh into guard. So he's kind of interchangeable. So you take a tackle there, you take offensive lineman there. Then at least you have 3 guys. Now you need to fill 2 slots because Pugh can play those multiple positions.
Now moving away from the draft for a second, running back was definitely a huge sore spot for you last year. Andre Brown going to be the guy, or who would you like to see them with either free agency or the draft?
Well, just in general, I don't like signing free agent running backs. I think it's a losing proposition. I think running backs have a very short shelf life. I like to call it they only have so much tread on the tires.
The Rice analogy always worked well with that this year.
But Ray Rice, I saw him at Rutgers. He was dynamic, and in Baltimore, between the runs and the catches, you only get so many touches, and running backs fall off cliffs immediately. I mean,
absolutely.
Look at Steven Jackson in Atlanta, right? He was hurt a lot of the year, didn't have a big year. That just doesn't seem to work.
So I mean, look who the Giants running backs were. That before Wilson, we had Brandon Jacobs, which was like a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Right.
Ahmad Bradshaw was like a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
I think the Giants might have realized maybe we can steal those guys a little bit later, or even just find Andre Brown.
Right.
Where's he from?
Look at Arian Foster, right?
A guy that the Giants put on their practice squad from who's the Notre Dame guy that went to Green Bay? Ryan Grant.
Yep.
He was on the Giants practice squad, and they let him go, and he went on to be a starting running back that had success in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. You can find running backs.
I think you can find. I think hopefully, I don't know if they sign somebody in the offseason. They like somebody that that's under the radar, but I think they'll find something. Not here though.
But I think you could go Andre Brown, and I'm not calling him a feature back because I think the Giants, they won with Eli throwing the ball, but I think Andre Brown, and you have to pair him with someone. I don't think that guy's Michael Cox. I don't think he's shown enough. You can't go into the season with that, but.
I guess you got to find out what's up with Wilson and the spinal stenosis or spinal stenosis.
But they need to bring a guy in.
A couple interesting draft options there, like maybe like a Lace Sankey or Bishop Sankey, the guy Lacey from Baylor. A couple of quick backs. I think like Andre Brown could be that nice like bruising back. He had a pretty good season after coming back off the injury. Maybe
but it was hurt again last year. I mean, Andre Brown's not the model of health either. So,
but I'm saying coming off a broken leg, I mean, did basically all you can ask for.
Yeah, no, I'm comfortable with Andre Brown pairing him up with somebody else, but I wouldn't a free agent given like paying. I mean, like
I guess
serious
they still got
money
Hillis on the roster, right?
Yeah, I mean, you bring those guys in, let them sort each other out, but I wouldn't pay big money to any free agent running back that's already been through the wars.
What about Ben Tate?
He's not for the Giants.
No.
I wouldn't. No, the Giants. First of all, the Giants' cap is a mess, right? They're not going to have a ton of money to spend, and that team has so many other holes. Where I think running back has shown. We discussed it's the valued position. You don't have to put serious resources at that position. You really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Adrian Peterson. He didn't have the best year, but probably the best running back.
Right.
And what's
that team doing? I think the running back position. You need offensive line. If the line's not going to block, it doesn't matter anyway. So,
damn good.
The running back there, I think is not a high priority. I would say for the Giants.
All right. Before we close it out, we'll just talk about the other local team real quick, the Jets. Interestingly enough, they had themselves positioned very nicely, to be maybe in that 11, 12, 13 mix. They win that last game. A couple other things fall into place that go against their favor. 18 now for the Jets, and they finished at 8-8. I mean, nobody saw that coming at all for the Jets this season. Everybody dubbed them as a 4, 5, 6 at best win team.
Picked against them in the suicide pool the first week.
They killed me. I got knocked out of both of them with them.
Yeah, they knocked me out of both week 1 against the Bucks. Jesus. But yeah, here we got Eric Ebron, tight end out of North Carolina. That'd be a good fit. I mean, the Jets need skill position players.
Absolutely.
They've done it once already with Dustin Keller, right? Well, I guess that was the old regime too, but
yeah.
I mean, obviously they're set on defense. They need somebody here. I don't see any receivers jumping out after this guy that really impressed me.
Well, you got a couple receivers at the top. Sammy Watkins, obviously, that's shown he's probably the top guy.
But you're assuming, at this point that they're
gone.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, big athletic guy, obviously, and these tight ends are especially in the new NFL where you can't crack guys over the middle, and that middle of the field is so valuable. Big guys like this, Jimmy Graham, Gronkowski, Vernon Davis. You go down the list of guys that are game changers from that position.
That'll open it up everywhere else for you.
And I think a key point with the tight ends too, they're so critical in the red zone. Because they give you that mismatch advantage, and they get the ball in the end zone. They give you that. And Ebron, is a tremendous athlete.
I could line it up on the outside too.
Right. I think if there is a receiver there, if one falls, Mike Evans, you don't see him falling. Marquise Lee, I don't know if he's the kind the Jets are looking for, but if he's there, maybe in my mock, the three of those guys are off the board. So I had him going with, obviously need to upgrade the skills, receiver, pass catcher, tight end. Obviously, they're in need of a tight end. They were trotting out, Jeff Cumberland and Kellen Winslow. Obviously, need to upgrade at that spot.
It'll be interesting. Rex has been, or Rex and, Idzik now. I don't know how much of that was Rex versus Idzik last year, but, they had 2 picks in the first round, 2 defensive guys.
Right.
Yep.
Maybe they just keep on rolling defense now.
I'm very interested to see what the Jets do because now, they find themselves at 18. Let's say they want to go up and get Mike Evans or Marquise Lee or
Jets have a lot of picks.
They can pull it off one of those the third rounder from the Tampa Bay fourth round, whatever it might be.
Question:
Move
Are
up.
the Jets good with Geno Smith?
I was just if one of those quarterbacks tumbled to them at 18, you think they pull the trigger on one of those guys?
Yeah, I think you have to. But not Derek Carr because I think basically you got the same thing with Geno Smith. In terms of production, not the same kind of quarterback, but I think Derek Carr. You're not going to do any worse with Geno Smith. You know what I mean?
All right.
But it'd be very interesting to see if the Jets pull the trigger and maybe make a trade up to get a Mike Evans, somebody like that.
Now we only saw the Idzik one draft. I'd be surprised if he traded up. I think his whole key was accumulating. Because they were 8-8,
building.
but they have a lot of holes in that team.
Right.
Absolutely, they have a lot of holes, and I'd be surprised if they sacrificed a pick to move up. But if they like someone enough, but I think his blueprint is to just bring a lot of talent to camp and let it sort itself out. I think that's what his objective
That's kind of
is.
Seattle's.
They got
MO,
exactly.
And that's where it came
right.
from.
See, look at how many guys Seattle found in those late rounds that are key contributors.
Sherman, Russell
Ton of-
Wilson.
yeah.
And,
They
you go down the
got
list.
Jets got some cap room this year too. Imagine they get like Keem Nicks, pair him up with another young receiver. I know Nick Savage.
I wouldn't give
Florida.
Knicks any kind of big money. None. I'd take Knicks back to the Giants on a 1-year deal, but I wouldn't give him any kind of big money. Though I think
Somebody's
those,
gonna throw it at him.
I wouldn't be my team. I'd be surprised. No, I would. He didn't play well this year at all. He really didn't.
No,
I
definitely
think,
not.
again, the skill positions in the NFL seem like, they're more like, we'll find somebody.
Yeah.
Look at the Patriots this year. They threw no names out there.
Well, you also have Tom Brady at quarterback, which, is a big X factor.
And but they had a good offensive line, that kept the quarterback upright, and that's and I think that's the key to any good team is a good offensive and defensive line. And I think NFL teams are starting to realize that more and more, where it's like you could have all the talent in the world on the outside if you can't protect your quarterback or you can't run the ball, you can't do crap.
Right.
That's why you see all these offensive linemen going early, defensive linemen going early, and the skill positions are starting to get devalued almost to a point.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Well, we are in the second week of January. Still a long ways off from a lot of decisions being made. Still got the rest of the NFL season to go. We got the Super Bowl in about a month, so
You gotta start Super Bowling up Francesicon, baby.
Francesicon? All right, so I guess we get out of here for the evening. Saturday, once again, we will be down at the Vic, 4th Street and Hobart Ave. Make sure you're down there. It'll be the first birthday party for the 14A sports team.
Nice. Are we getting a cake?
Maybe some hats. Cole's making a cake.
Cookie Puss?
Look, once cake pops up, Cole's
Fudgy.
like, I get to make a cake. I get to buy a cake. Yes.
Fudgy the Whale?
Yeah, can we do Fudgy the Whale?
What is Fudgy the Whale?
What are you, retarded?
Ice cream cake?
I thought we said we weren't using that word.
I need mentally handicapped. What are you, mentally handicapped?
When it comes to Fudgy the Whale.
What do you not know Fudgy the Whale?
I just told you I don't.
Carvel?
I'm pulling this
Little,
shit.
An ice cream cake?
The whale?
It's
with
shaped
the
as a whale?
crunchies?
It's shaped as a whale.
Shaped as a
True
whale.
story.
True story, Michael.
I never saw it.
It's the whale. You put the whale in the cake. You put it in the crunchies on it. You dip it in there.
Is it a killer whale?
It's a killer whale. It's a shamu.
Is it a sperm whale?
It's a shamu.
That's delicious. Look at that.
The
a
sperm
shamu.
whale? There's such things. True story.
That looks like the penis that I drew on Chuck's car a couple weeks ago.
A lot of.
Always comes back to the dicks.
Is that going to be ranked?
That's right after Geno Smith.
All right, so once again, Saturday, 4th Street and Hobart Avenue. That's cross corner. We'll be at the Vic. First annual 14A Sports birthday party. We're going to watch the games out there. Have a little NFL bingo. Going to be a good day.
Could we have our bachelor draft?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, we should do it live.
Do whatever the hell we want, man.
We'll do it right now.
We got to right now. We got to print out little pictures of the girls.
All right.
Put them on
Do
the
that.
board.
Yeah, and do a fantasy style draft.
All right.
Sounds fabulous. Sounds
Okay.
fabulous. All right, so on behalf of the rest of the 14A Sports team, we are out
wait,
of here
one more
for the
thing.
week. No, this never ends off smoothly.
Mike Piazza should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm done.
What's up, air horse? All right, we'll see y'all next week. 14A Sports on 15 Minutes Fame Radio.